Introducing Depop, a leading player in the online resale market connecting buyers and sellers in fashion commerce. Depop competes in a crowded space alongside platforms like eBay, Vinted, and Poshmark.
Welcome to our strategic analysis of Depop, a key player in the online secondhand fashion market. So Oliver and I are management consultants and are going to explore Depop's strategic landscape, employing the 5 forces framework to pinpoint challenges and find practical solutions that enhance its market position. First, let's examine the industry context. So the second-hand market is experiencing significant growth, with April projected to generate almost $100 billion in revenue by 2026. Utilizing this trend, we assess how this growth presents both opportunities and challenges for Depop. So the graph presents a concerning trend for Depop, showing a decline in its active users, with sellers falling to approximately 2 million and buyers to 3.1 million by 2022. This decline, after a peak in 2020, suggests a disconnect between Depop's offerings and its users' needs or expectations. This downward trend signals a strategic challenge that needs addressing. We will analyze this decrease to understand the underlying issues in user engagement and retention, crucial for sustaining growth. So this line graph portrays a declining trend in monthly downloads of the Depop app globally, from a high point of approximately 800,000 in January 2021 to nearly half that number, around 464,000 by December 2023. This reduction over the 3 years highlights critical issues in user acquisition and retention. So even though the e-commerce secondhand industry is growing, Depop struggles with retaining its active user base and sustaining growth in both buyer and seller metrics. These figures illustrate the critical need for strategic interventions to reverse this trend. So now we will be delving into a 5 forces analysis for Depop. This framework, established by Michael Porter, serves as a cornerstone for dissecting the competitive dynamics within an industry. So by analyzing the 5 forces, we will uncover the strategic reinforcements that could push Depop to new heights. Let us proceed to examine these forces. So the challenge that Depop currently faces is a highly competitive market. In an industry teeming with potent competitors like eBay, Vinted, and Poshmark, Depop is striving to maintain its relevance and market share. These competitors are not just entities fighting for market dominance, but are also instrumental in driving technological advancements within the market. Competitors are elevating the user experience to new heights by incorporating augmented reality and AI-driven personalization features. These solutions aggressively undercut Depop with more favorable economic terms for sellers, particularly regarding seller fees. So with such high competition, Depop's task is clear. The company must rigorously analyze these market forces to understand the full scope of the challenge. The provided chart contrasts the annual revenue trajectories of Depop and Vinted from 2019 to 2022, revealing distinct growth patterns for the 2 online marketplace platforms, Vinted vs Depop. So the revenues for both companies were comparable in 2019. However, in the following years, Vinted's revenue growth rate dramatically outstrips that of Depop, so more than doubled, which experienced a steady but relatively slower increase. This contrast in revenue escalation suggests Vinted's more effective approach to market expansion and user acquisition. For Depop, this comparison could be a momentum to analyze Vinted's strategies and market movements and to adjust its own strategies accordingly. Now let's discuss the increasing threat of new entrants within the second-hand marketplace. So the attraction of this market is strengthened by a wave in demand for sustainable fashion. The digital nature of this marketplace presents low barriers to entry, which simplifies the launch of new platforms. With advances in technology, especially, entrants can offer new features, smoother experiences, and potentially more compelling value propositions. For example, some recent created apps have AI-driven recommendation system that matches buyers with product based on their style preferences and environmental values. Depop faces increasing challenges with brand loyalty and user engagement, exposing it to threats from both established and emerging competitors. The bargaining power of buyers in Depop's market is high as well. This highlights that buyers have numerous alternatives and are price sensitive, which allows them to exert significant influence over Depop. Indeed, users and buyers often compare prices and services across all platforms before making a purchase decision. Depop also faces the challenge of substitute products or services. We assess the moderate to high threats from physical thrift stores and flea markets. These substitutes offer different consumer experiences and can divert traffic from Depop, especially among users seeking unique, vintage finds or more sustainable shopping practices. Similarly, sellers on Depop exert considerable bargaining power, so they have multiple platforms to choose from, which affects their loyalty to Depop. The high fee charged by Depop compared to its competitors also suggests a strategic disadvantage that could drive sellers to other platforms offering better margins. So a 2023 fee structure analysis highlights that Depop's 10% transaction fee as a potential barrier to seller retention compared to, for example, Vinted, which ranks from 3 to 5%. So here is an overview of all 5 forces for Depop in the current second-hand industry. Each force is, as just explained, either moderate or high.
Thank you, Lisa. So, in order to address the strategic challenges facing Depop, we propose 2 strategies. Our first strategy is to prioritize the enhancement of user experience. By focusing on this aspect, we aim to not only differentiate Depop from its competitors, but also to increase user satisfaction and engagement on the platform. The first step involves conducting comprehensive user research and usability testing to identify pain points and areas for improvement in Depop's app interface. By gathering insights directly from our users, we can pinpoint specific areas that need attention and ensure that our redesigned efforts are guided by user needs and preferences. We will develop and implement innovative features to elevate the user experience on Depop. These may include augmented reality fitting rooms, virtual styling assistants, and personalized fashion recommendations powered by advanced algorithms. By offering unique and cutting-edge features, we can provide users with a more immersive and personalized shopping experience. Depop will provide users with more customization options for their profiles, listings, and shopping experiences. This will allow users to tailor their Depop experience according to their own preferences, which fosters a sense of ownership and personalization. By empowering users to personalize their interactions with the platform, we can enhance overall user satisfaction and loyalty. In addition to enhancing the user experience, we will also focus on strategic marketing initiatives to increase brand visibility and to attract new users to Depop. We will identify potential partners in the sustainable fashion industry, including brands and organizations aligned with Depop's values and target audience. Through strategic partnerships, we will develop collaborative marketing campaigns, events, and product collaborations to increase brand visibility and to reach new audiences. We will conduct research to understand our target audience's demographics, interests, and preferences. Based on this research, we will launch targeted advertising campaigns to reach specific demographic segments and niche markets interested in sustainable fashion and vintage clothing. By tailoring our marketing efforts to the needs and interests of our target audience, we can maximize the effectiveness of our advertising campaigns and attract new users. By implementing these strategic initiatives, we believe that Depop can enhance its user experience, its brand visibility, and to attract, once again, new users, positioning itself for continued success in the online second-hand industry. Next, let's move on to the outlook to show the effects that our strategy would have on the 5 forces model of Depop. These strategies enhance our analysis of the 5 border forces for all 5 aspects, except for the bargaining power of supplier. In the bustling online second-hand market, Depop stands out amidst fierce competition by offering unique features like personalized shopping and augmented reality. These innovations not only distinguish Depop from other players, but also enhance user engagement, potentially boosting loyalty and softening market rivalry. The digital marketplace once had low entry barriers, leading to a high threat from newcomers. But now, Depop's tech advancements and unique features have raised these barriers, making it tougher for new entrants to compete. To challenge Depop, new players must offer something substantially better or different, thus reducing the threat level. Turning to the bargaining power of buyers, which was substantial given the many choices they used to have. Now, after enhancing the user experience and offering personalized journeys, we see a paradigm shift. Depop's buyer satisfaction has increased, cultivating a loyalty that transcends the purely transactional. They see value in Depop that goes beyond price, which means they are staying put. This shift has effectively decreased the buyer's bargaining power, aligning their interests more closely with ours. Regarding the threat of substitute products and services, it was a marketplace reality that we couldn't ignore. But by reinforcing the commitment to sustainable fashion and building a sense of community, we've changed the conversation. Depop's unique platform features, which incorporate social media elements, aren't just innovative. They are Depop signatures that can't be easily replicated. This has diminished the lure of potential substitutes, protecting Depop's market positioning. With this presented strategy, we believe that Depop can transition from a company battling high competitive rivalry to one that's steering the market. The threats of new entrants and substitutes have been moderated, while buyers find themselves more integrated and loyal to our platform. The outlook for Depop is robust. Our innovations and strategies have not only answered the immediate challenges, but have laid a foundation for sustained future success. Thank you.